Good day everyone. Today I'm going to tackle about communication for academic purposes. So what is academic communication? Academic communication involves presenting ideas effectively and formally in a scholastic environment. It is also called a scholarly communication, and it refers to methods of communication that are highly structured and generally only used in a pedagogical settings. Now let's go to arriving at an academic paper. The first one is to select a topic. When we say select a topic, it is the main goal of your paper, because if you don't have a topic, you wouldn't proceed to the next step, or you would not discuss the paper without its topic. Next is the formulate a working thesis statement. When we say thesis statement, it is the main goal of our paper. You have to make a thesis statement in order to elaborate what is your paper is trying to say. Next is the prepare preliminary question. It is when you ask yourself about in your topic what you haven't known yet. Next is the find sources. In asking the question for your paper, you must also find the answer to your paper and find a source that will answer your question. Next is to take down and organize notes. We must also take down and organize our notes in our paper, because in case if something you are not satisfied with, you can get some of the information in your notes. The next one is the outline your paper. It is to organize written ideas about a topic or thesis into a logical orders. Outlines arrange major topics, subtopics, and supporting details. Writers use outline when writing their papers in order to know which topic to cover in what order. Draft your paper. It is also important to draft your paper, because the purpose of the first draft is to get one ideas on paper and to try out a plan of organization for those ideas. Next is revise and edit. It is important to revise and edit your paper, because you can revise, you add, cut, move, or change information in order to improve content. During editing, you take a second look at the words and sentence you use to express your ideas and fix any problems in grammar, punctuation, and sentence structure. The last one is the check documentation. You must double check the document if the file is already saved and now you are done with your paper. And now let's go to arriving at a research paper. The first one is the literature review. A literature review is a survey of scholarly sources on a specific topic. It provides an overview of current knowledge, allowing you to identify relevant theories, methods, and gaps in existing research. It provides a description, summary, and critical evaluation of this work in relation to this research problem being investigated. Next is the methodology. Methodology refers to the overarching strategy and rationale of your research project. It involves studying the methods used in your field and the theories or principle behind them in order to develop an approach that matches your objectives. Next is the findings. The purpose of findings is can only confirm or reject the hypothesis underpinning your studies. However, the act of articulating the results help you to understand the problem from within, to break it into pieces, and to view the research problem from various perspectives. Next is the analysis. To analyze means to break a topic or concept down into its part in order to inspect and understand it, and to restructure those parts in a way what makes sense to you. The last one is the recommendation. It is to urge specific action to be taken with regards to policy, practice, theory, or subsequent research. There are specific suggestions that you make with regards to further research on the topic. Now in paragraph, there are a good paragraph has unity, coherence, brevity, emphasize. Next is a paragraph can be narrative, descriptive, expository, argumentative. In academic writing style, we have 4 writing style, which code as FISH, also known as formality, impersonality, structure, and hedging. Informality writing refers to how well you follow standard English convention, how often you use slangs or idioms, how objective you are about your topic, and how familiar or intimate you assume you are with readers when writing an academic documents. Your writing skills are also being tested, which is why you need to maintain that degree of formality throughout your paper. Next is impersonality. It demands a reality conceived as exclusive of author's thoughts and experiences. Academic writing should be objective. The language of academic writing should therefore be impersonal and should not include personal pronouns, emotional language, or informal speech. Next is structure. It is merely the way a text is organized, and authors deliberately choose to arrange their information and ideas in a particular way. A writer's style is created by his or her choice of words, sentence, structures, tone, imagery, point of view, figurative language, symbolism, and mood. The last one is the hedging. In academic writing, it is prudent to be cautious in one statement to distinguish between facts and claims. This is commonly known as hedging. Hedging is the use of linguistic devices to express hesitation or uncertainty, as well as to demonstrate politeness and indirectness. For more information about the writing style, we have the do's and don'ts. The first one in the formality is don't use contraction, don't use colloquial language or slang, always write as concisely as you can, generally avoid phrasal verbs, avoid common but vague words and phrases, avoid overuse of bracket, don't use exclamation mark or dashes, avoid direct question, don't use etc. Always use a capital letters appropriately and never use the type of language used in texting. In impersonality, we have generally avoid personal language, never use emotive language, be objective rather than subjective, avoid being too dogmatic, consistently use evidence from your source reading and reference this correctly, avoid sexist language, avoid he or she, herself, himself, etc. The next one is structure. The first one is you must make sure you write in complete sentences. Divide your writings up into paragraphs. Use connecting words and phrases to make your writing explicit and easy to follow. Check your grammar and spelling carefully. Use nominalization and passives. The last one is hedging. The first one is you must use impersonal subject, use passive verbs, use verbs such as imagine, suggest, claim, suppose. Use attitudinal signals such as apparently, arguably, ideally, strangely, unexpectedly. Use verbs such as would, could, may, might. Use quality adverbs such as some, several, a minority, of, a few, many to avoid making overgeneralization. The last one is APA citation. When we say in-text citation style, it uses the author's last name and the year of publication, while in reference that you should indicate where you got the work or information from. There are a variety of ways to write references such as APA style, MLA style, and Chicago style. As you can see in the below the reference, we have one example of APA citation guidelines. So that's it for today. So I hope you have learned about communication for academic purposes. Thank you.